Okay, folks, I told you last week that I was going to be giving you a video of when I did my empty bottles and how to do it to make them into like mini greenhouses. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need a drill bit or a screwdriver with a screw, a small razor blade, or you can do it with a pair of scissors. Now I started with the razor blade and then cut it with the scissors. And basically what you're going to do, and this is especially true with the smaller bottles, okay? So if you got the smaller bottles, it's a lot easier to do it with the smaller bottles than the bigger bottles, but the same concept exists, okay? So what I do is, and I'm gonna do it and then show you because I have to hold the phone. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna show you and explain what I did. Okay? All right. Give me just a minute. Okay. So step one, what you want to do, and I hope you can see this, is you want to put holes in each one of the little raised areas. Okay, and you want it to be a fairly decent sized hole because you're going to want it to drain. And then I also put one in the middle, okay, and that's the bottom, okay. So let me show you what you do now, okay. So now we're going to go, and you see there is a lip right here. You see that lip? And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off right along that line, along that lip. So let me do that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how this works. All right. Okay, so what you have here is you have the top, and you can see I don't cut it perfectly straight. Then you have the bottom. So the top fits right over top of the bottom, see? And what I do is I will fill it up with dirt, and I will set this in like a small lid or a container lid, right? And put the water there, and then I'll have the light in the house over top. Now, what you can do is you can take the screw top off, completely off, and just let it grow just like that, okay? But the problem you have is once the seedling gets up to a certain size, you're going to have to remove the top and take the bottom off. And the good thing about using these little jars and these little drink containers is the fact that you can literally just cut these, and you just cut them in half. And so you're really, if you have sensitive plants like corn, okay, everybody was telling me that you can't plant corn in these little jars. I hate to tell you, I did that last year and I did get corn, okay? So the good thing about it is once the seedling gets big enough, and I do this because I have a lot of birds in my neighborhood. So, you know, when I start my seeds outside, I don't want the birds to come and get all my seeds out of my little containers, right? So by having the tops on like that, and I just put something on top to give it a little bit of pressure on the top to hold the lid down, the birds can't get to the seeds. So I have a higher germination rate doing it that way. And I don't lose my plants before they're big enough, you know, to actually go in the ground. Now, like I said, if you have sensitive plants, the good thing about this is you can turn this sideways and just slice the whole container right down the side and split it wide open. And you have less chance of damaging the roots of the plant. And you want to do this before your plant reaches the top of the bottle, obviously. Okay, you want a good sized plant, but you want it in such a way that when you take it out of the bottle, you're not losing all the dirt around the roots. You want to keep as much as this dirt that it started in around the roots. And so what I found is if I take it down to the ground and I put it on the ground, and I take and just use my little trowel and go around it on the ground, right? And I look at the depth of the bottle, and I dig it down that depth. Then I found that that works perfect, especially if I'm doing it in a raised bed. It's real easy to do. It's real simple to do. Now, if you have harder ground, like I have some ground in the back of my yard up against a fence, what I found was I could still do the same thing, but I can actually use my fence hole post digger and use that, and I can dig it down quickly. And it all depends on what you want to do. So that's how I do my little bottles. The bigger bottles, about the same thing, except on the bigger bottles, you're going to have to kind of notch the bigger bottles so that when you squeeze it to put the top on, it goes on fairly easily. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing underneath. You're going to put all the holes. Now, with these are my coffee tins, right? And I do the same thing on the bottom. Is I will put several holes on the bottom. But if you notice, it has this little ring here. What I like to do is I like to take and use the lid. Let me show you here. I like to use the lid, and I put a couple rocks in the top of the lid, and then I set this on top of the lid. And what happens is, your plants, all I got to do is come along and just put the water in the lid, right? And your plants will soak that water right up into the dirt. The dirt will literally soak the water up. So it's sitting like that, right? And it just sits right on it. So it's just real easy. If it needs water, you just lift it up, pour water in it, put the pot back. I mean, it's just real simple. See, real simple, real easy to do, and yeah, I know. I would only recommend you use this for a year. I do this every year, and then in fall when I harvest and I'm cleaning everything up, all of these go to the dump at that point. But it gives you another way to use the containers. Now, these you might get away with using it a couple years, but yeah, I have found that these here, the little drink bottles and the little 2-liter bottles, they don't last more than a year. Okay. Now, the other thing you can do, and I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna show you, because I did this last year and I left them hanging up and they've fallen. But I'm gonna show you how I built a tower last year using the 2-liter bottle. So let's go outside and I'll show you that. Okay, so this is what happens. It fell down over the winter. But this is a tower. Okay, and as you can see, I cut a little hole in the side. Right, I cut a hole in the side of the 2-liter bottle. I cut the bottom off, and I put drill holes in each one going down, so each one fits into the one beneath it, right? And each one has its own little drill hole. Okay. Some of my first ones I actually used straws, and I put straws on either side of the nozzle there and drained down. But the easiest way is just drill a hole in the cap, or leave the cap off. And what happens is when it rains, the water comes in the top and it drains down. Now, if you got a lot of water, you can use the bottom and put one of the bottoms in the top and just drill holes in the bottom so that it holds that water at the top, so it just slowly trickles down all the way down. Now, this is a cheap way to do it, and this is what I did last year. I just use zip ties. I just zip tied it all up, right? Um, just so you know, it will only last a year or so, and then you have to replace the dirt and get rid of it. So, like I said, I just drilled a hole in the top, plain and simple. And this was my herb garden last year, and these will. I've got a mess to clean up here, but I think that you get the idea that it's real easy to do. I think anybody can really do it, and yeah, I've actually got pallets because I'm going to use pallets this year and try and do something a little bit different for my herb garden this year, you know. So that's what I told you I would give you a couple ideas. That's one of my ideas, to reuse the drink bottles, because I'm sure everybody has them. And like I said, they will last. See, you see here, they will last. This is how I did a couple of them. You know, I took the little PVC pipe and had them hanging up, and they were draining down and draining from one to the next, right? Real simple to do. I mean, this is so simple to do. If you've got 5 minutes, you could do this, right? And the dirt will grow anything. I mean, if you get good dirt, which I have good dirt, thanks to my chickens, it'll grow anything, okay? It will literally, stuff will grow in it that, this was from last year, right? Stuff will grow in it, and I have to figure out something different to do this year, because this did not stay very well. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and we're going to start getting our potato barrels and everything ready to go. Oh, look at here. I got some clover coming up. Look at there. Yeah. Yeah. Chickens have been out here, I can tell. So yeah, that's what you do. And I hope that helps somebody. Bicycle.